Hello, everyone. My name is Cole Stevenson. I use he, him pronouns, and I am academic seat 15 and academic committee chair.
Hi everyone, my name is Ami Purdue. I use she, her pronouns, and I am academic seat 16.
Hey all, my name is Dre. I use they, them pronouns. I hold seat 17.
My name is Robin Bailey. I use he, him pronouns. I'm Senate seat 18, representing the School of Journalism and Communications.
Hi, my name is Vuk and I'm Senate seat 19.
Hey guys, my name is Bridget Madariaga. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm Senate seat 21.
Hi everyone, Kayla Fisher, she, her pronouns, and I'm academic seat 22.
Hi, I'm Sarah Questenberry. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm academic seat 23.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I'm just taking notes.
Hi, my name is Erin Ludeman. I am academic seat 20 and the deputy speaker.
My name is Quadrian Gill. I'm Senate seat 7, Contracts Finance Committee, and I'm the Senate Speaker.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Priscilla Moreno, she, her pronouns, ACO president.
And can we have a senator read the land acknowledgement? Anyone? All right, Senator Fisher.
The University of Oregon is located on Kalapuya Alihi, the traditional indigenous homeland of the Kalapuya people. Following treaties between 1851 and 1855, Kalapuya people were dispossessed of their indigenous homeland by the U.S. government and forcibly removed to the Coast Reservation, Western Oregon. Today, Kalapuya descendants are primarily citizens of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians, and they continue to make important contributions to their communities, to the UO, to the lands now known as Oregon, and to the world. And following the Indigenous Protocol of acknowledging the original people of the land we occupy, we also extend our respect to the 9 federally recognized Indigenous nations of Oregon: the Burns Paiute Tribe, the Confederated Tribes of the Coos, Lower Umpqua and Sislaw Indians, the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde, the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians, the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation, the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs, the Coquel Indian Tribe, the Cow Creek Band of Umpqua Tribe of Indians, and the Klamath Tribes. We express our respect to the many more tribes who have ancestral connections to this territory, including the Chinook Indian Nation and the Fort McDermott Paiute and Shoshone tribes, as well as to all other displaced indigenous peoples who call Oregon home.
Thank you, Senator Fisher. And for the ASU mission statement, the purpose of ASU is to provide for the social, cultural, educational, and physical development of its members, UO students, and for the advancement of their individual and collective interests, both within and without the university. And next, we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Senator Peters. Motion made by Peters, seconded Questenberry. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay, and the agenda is approved. Do we have any senators that wish to make an announcement? Senator Stevenson.
Hi there, I'm Lucas. I'm not super familiar with this process. I'm just here to propose kind of a resource for student orgs that has been, I guess, a background annoyance for people operating clubs, mostly with catering, but just vendors in general. So the long form process, a lot of vendors require a couple forms when you try to buy from them, and when student orgs go to a restaurant to cater from them, they need like, I think 2 forms, and they always have to contact catering and be like, do you have this? And if they don't, then they kind of have to set it up with the restaurant. And what that ends up doing is a lot of clubs just stick with these very few vendors they know work, or the ones that they renew every year. And so it's kind of a very small pool of vendors, and you're never sure which ones you can branch out to, or even ones that have been used in the past. Actually, we just wanted to use Sweet Life, and apparently they don't have a W-9 anymore. So I'm wanting a resource that can list not just the commonly used vendors list, but has their forms that they require, the forms that UO already has from them, because catering has these forms. They're just not like a public resource, as well as the expiration date of the forms, since I know most of them are yearly. And so that's kind of another trouble that the clubs have. So basically, yeah, a little database and a web page where clubs can go and be like, okay, I want to order from this place. What forms do I need? Does you already have them? And yeah, I have I guess an email or more details on it. I didn't word it super well here, but if anyone's interested.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I know that some of the processes we put student orgs through are not the easiest, so I'm definitely always open to things that make that easier for students and ways we can collaborate and navigate the system. Does anyone want to make a motion for a working group? Senator Stevenson?
I move to make a working group towards updating the commonly used vendors list, as well as creating an engage tab, which includes the name of each vendor, which forms with this vendor are required for each relevant PO type, the date for each form, when it will expire, as well as the date of upload / most recent update for each entry.
Motion made by Stevenson, seconded by Questenberry. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. And the working group's formed. We'll have Senator Stevenson get in contact with you and we'll start collaborating. Thank you. Senator Fisher?
Hi, everyone. Overrealized Committee had our second meeting today at 4, and it was very helpful and great. We've already had 4 applications for overrealized funds, which is amazing. However, we would love to have more. And there's been a little bit of a delay on getting it posted on the ASUO Gov Instagram and stuff. So if anyone would be willing to share it even more with your friends and spread around all of your things, because I want to make sure we get a lot of applications before we have to start voting and stuff. And I'd love to see you all next week. Thanks. I yield.
Senator Madariaga?
No, you're good. Hey guys, I just wanted to update you on my clothing drive. So I do have a start date. It's gonna start in 2 weeks on February 16th. That's President's Day, but we are still in school, I believe. I put in a comms request for Instagram post to exec, and I got a response for that. So yeah, I finished the sign up sheet and I'm gonna be sending it out. So if everyone could make sure to look out for that and volunteer. I yield. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And any other announcements? All right. Senator Bailey.
Yeah, hi. Okay, so yesterday around 12 p.m., there was a vehicle outside of Carson Hall that had government plates and had a little laminated slip of paper on the dashboard that said Homeland Security, U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement on official business. I knew about this because a student saw it, called it into general counsel, then went inside, told Carson dining staff. Someone on Carson dining staff is Sophia, who is on USW's executive board committee, whatever, and then talked about it in the chat. I had just gotten out of work and I was near Carson, so I went over there to check it out. I called the Portland Immigrant PIRC. I always forget what it stands for, but I called it into them, and then they dispatched people from the Lane County Responders Network, and Kevin Reed from General Counsel was there checking it out. I followed him inside Carson Hall. He kind of just like stood around talking to someone on his earpiece, didn't really talk to any workers or anything, and was just like, seems like there's no activity happening right now. I'm going to go into Oregon Hall and talk to them. And I didn't follow him into Oregon Hall. I wanted to stay by the car. I talked to the students who called it into General Counsel, and they were chill, but they were very like worried and scared. They went to go get signs, like anti-ICE signs to stand outside of the car. And I was communicating with like other USW people, and the PIRC responders came and they were like, okay, it's not a detainment vehicle. And then around then, a woman walked out of Oregon Hall with Kevin Reed, and her name was Jennifer. She didn't give us a last name, but she works with the Student and Exchange Visitor Program. She has regularly scheduled meetings with Becky Crabtree from International Student and Scholar Services. It was a regularly scheduled meeting, but Jennifer, decided to put this slip of paper on her dashboard that says she was here on official ICE business, and that caused a panic of students and workers. And we don't have a system yet for like what happens when it isn't just Jennifer meeting with Becky, but is actual ICE presence on campus. Kevin wasn't like reaching out to communicate with me. It kind of seemed like he was annoyed that I was there. I asked Jennifer a couple questions and got some information out of her, and she seemed to think she didn't have to pay for parking, which is why she had that slip on her dashboard, but she does, like the rest of us. And it's really frustrating that the university regularly works with people from DHS who conduct themselves in a way that is deeply unprofessional and causes a panic. And we told Jennifer that, this slip of paper, this made people scared. And she was like, well, I'm gonna go have dinner with my daughter after this. So I don't think she seemed very concerned, but my concern lies with like the university and what it's going to do in this situation, because quite frankly, it did not do much to assuage my fears, students' fears, workers' fears. It was me. I took an hour out of my class to be there and stay there until I knew it was okay. And Kevin was just here and told us, call general counsel. And to trust that general counsel will figure it out. But it wasn't general counsel that sent out the alert that, it's okay, guys. That was me. I posted it to the Ruby story, and then I reposted it to the USW story, and I tried to send it out in as many networks that I have. But like, man, that sucked. And, that was just like a normal DHS worker who caused a panic. Like, what happens when it really is ICE? I yield.
Thank you, Senator Bailey. Senator Smith?
Hi. If you guys find that disturbing, and want to not be caught unaware when ICE pulls up on campus, I think the creation of our own alert network, similar to one that Kevin said he wouldn't help us do a little while ago, would be very advantageous. I spoke to Carl about it, and he said he wouldn't get in my way. So yeah, if you have access to a mailing list, my goal is to get 7,000 contacts. I currently have 2,618. It's only about a week. It's worth the work. So yeah, if you have a mailing list or whatever, that'd be great. Or if you have a list of very much, I yield.
Awesome, thank you. And if that concludes announcements, we will move forward in the agenda. Do we have anybody who wishes to speak for public forum? All right, we'll move into financial business. I do need to update the numbers for the current surplus amount real quick, so I am going to call a quick 5-minute recess. So 5 minutes.
We'd have to have a lot. I think I think so. I was it's just on my yeah, that I'm not a quick I don't want to be but I was so explaining it myself. Oh, wait, like the app? Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I died. What's up? Right. Wait, did you what's that? Hello,
Oh yeah. I have my question. It's no fun. That's crazy. I'm done. Email on. Fucking awesome.
I think Quadrian should just allow me to edit the agenda. Yes. Right? What happened?
Oh yeah.
That it's the same. We didn't spend any. Out of hidden, yeah. And the request is 11,452.
Hey Bella, what's up?
11,452.
Good man. It's I want to go home. Like
All right, return to order. Going into financial business, surplus is currently at $341,990. Unallocated reserve sits at $24,480, and tonight our total requests are $11,452. First, we will hear the transfer request from Ad Team. Thanks for being here tonight.
So I am the account manager for Ad Team, and we currently have about, I forget the exact number, but a little over $1,000 in our AAF member dues line item. And we got that covered, our account or our faculty advisor got that covered for us. So we no longer need to do that, but we are going to be requesting surplus tonight. So we would love to get that moved up to our NSAC competition expenses so that we have to request less of that surplus.
Sweet, thank you guys. Sounds super reasonable. I'll move to Senator Questenberry.
Hey, all, thanks for coming in. So if we transfer, which I'm going to make the motion to transfer the money within your budget, but are you saying that if we transfer that amount, then that will be the amount we should take off of your transfer request?
So we accounted for the transfer as if it happened just because we kind of assumed that it might go through.
I just have things typed out, so I needed to know if I
Okay,
needed
yeah,
to do math.
definitely.
Okay, I moved to transfer funds within the group Ad Team OS number 0051 from AAF chapter member dues to AAF NSAC regional competition expenses in the amount of $1,540.
Motion made by Questenberry, seconded by Fisher. And if there are no questions, we'll move to vote, starting with Perez. Peters. O'Neill. Taylor. Smith. Broussard. Hofferday. Heffernan. Almodiafe.
Aye.
Jacobs Hiscox.
Aye.
Chisholm. Nagarajan. Stevenson. Purdue. Smith.
Aye.
Bailey. Morel. Madariaga. Smith.
Hello?
Fisher.
Hi.
Questenberry. Ludeman. And I say aye as well. Congrats.
Thank you.
Then if there are no objections, I'm just going to put the Ad Team request from surplus up next since they're already up. All right. No objections. We will hear the request from Ad Team. Oh, yes, I will send that. My bad.
What email was it from?
It's from Sela at UOregon, SELA.
Sweet, and then we're just getting that pulled up, and you're more than welcome to start if you'd like.
So I'm Hannah, this is Sela, and we're an ad team. So it's on the slideshow, but I'll just start with talking a little bit about who we are as an organization. So we are a student-run, it mimics an ad agency based out of the SOJC, and we are a chapter of the National Student Advertising Coalition, which is owned by. And we compete with schools across the country. And each year we get one big client. So this year we have that. Last year we had AT&T. And so this surplus request is for me to go to our competition. It's our district competition, which is in Portland this year. And we go every single year. The whole team goes every single year. So that's what we are. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, so that's kind of just what I said. But yeah, basically we mimic an agency. We have 7 different disciplines of strategy, media, art, anything you can think of. We work under account management. Yeah, it's super beneficial for students who are passionate. So today we have our quest hub, and then we broke it down into room cost, registration fees, transportation, and then how we can cut costs so far.
So our total request is $8,952. Our trip total is going to be $13,890. And what we have is $4,938.77 from our original NSAC expense line item. And then in addition to the surplus or the transfer request we just did, as well as a transfer request from our tabling events that we decided to move up into our competition expenses. So that leaves our total.
And so, yeah, like I said, we have a team of 33 students, 32 are going, just one person can't make it. But everyone on our team has historically been invited to come and encouraged to come. So every single ad team member has always gone, which is really important to the team. It's the one big thing that we do every year. And then we have one faculty advisor as well. But this is our largest team to date, which is partially why it's been more expensive this year. So we've been working to kind of grow the team, get as many people included as possible. So that's where our number stands right now. So yeah, when we're there, we'll compete against 7 other schools in schools from Oregon, Idaho, and Washington. And we also have the competition, but we also have networking and seminars to listen to advertising industry professionals. So it's a 3-day event, and we have a lot going on each day.
Yeah, to kind of get into what we're going to be doing there, we're for 3 days, April 16th, we're going to get there in the morning, and AAF will have either, right now they're looking at a tour of Nike campus, but we're going to have some sort of agency tour. Then we have a kind of introduction where all of the teams get to kind of mingle and get to know each other, and some meetings, as well as a dinner that's provided by the competition. And then April 17th will really be just competition all day. And that's when we'll present our campaign to the judges and the rest of the other teams. And then April 18th, we will get judges' feedback and have one final meeting and then return back to Eugene. So the first cost is the hotel. So this is chosen by AAF, and pretty much everything, unless we do an agency tour, is at the hotel. So we'll be there the entire time. And the cost it's a discounted cost that AAF has given us, which is $149 per room, which sleeps 4 people. And so 10 rooms is what we need. We've put in the maximum amount of people we can in each room. And yeah, it's in Portland, Oregon. That's pretty much it. Breakfast is included at the hotel. So yeah, we have no meals that we're paying for with our money. Everything's included either through the hotel or through AAF providing meals. Yeah. And then our registration, as Hannah kind of said, we're actually getting a 10% discount if we submit our money before March 13th, I believe. So we're getting a discounted price if we get that early submission, and it's going to be $292.50 per person. That's the discounted price. and we're all required to pay this fee. It's going to cover like our food, our all of the agency. If we have transportation to the agency, that will be covered. And yeah.
So then we plan to take a bus there and a bus back. We've thought about other transportation options, but this just made the most sense for us, and it's what we've always done in the past. It's a big part of team bonding, making sure everyone's there at the exact same time. It's important we're there to make our meetings. We have to leave really early in the morning, and it's just the best way to get everyone there safely and all together. So that is a number estimated around some quotes that we looked at. I put the one on the screen that we most likely want to go with. But yeah, that's our transportation there and back.
And then just wanted to kind of highlight the cost that we've already cut so far. So as we briefly touched on, we have all of our meals provided. So if we want to go and get snacks or any extra costs, that will just be on our members. Our rooms, we have the max capacity for every single room. We've done our budget transfers like we just did, and also our registration fees are huge to get that in as early as possible to get that 10% discount.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for that. That was a great presentation, and thanks for some of the sacrifices you made. 31 people is definitely a good amount of people for a trip this price. I will say it does fall slightly outside of our financial priorities for West Coast. If you were to get it down to $8,000, what do you think you would like cut from it, or do you think you could make that work as it is?
Have some options to get it down to 8,000 for sure. I think fundraising could be something that we have kind of thrown around before and that we're looking into. We also do have a team bonding. I think we have about $900 in our team bonding line item, and we would be willing to just move that up if we need to and maybe look at some free bondings. So
Awesome. Thank you so much. Senator Bailey.
Hi. If you didn't know, I'm seat 18. I represent the School of Journalism and Communications. So, yeah, I guess echoing what Quadrian said, it's a lot of people for a trip, which is great. I don't think we've had a trip with this many people before. And though we have a sort of cap at 8,000 recommended cap for trips in PST. And I was gonna make the motion, but I think I would like to see if perhaps, that willing to move around that $900.
Yeah, we've talked about it. I think that was kind of like our backup option was to move that. I think it's 980, so I think it would cover it, all of it.
Okay. Is there like
Yeah, you could just make the motion to transfer it instead. We're in this agenda item, but I think it applies close enough.
Okay. What's the name? Are you guys cool if I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of the line item that it's team bonding?
team bonding, I'm pretty sure that's
Okay. And how much do you want to move?
I mean, we can just move all of it over if that makes sense to do, or just 952 if that's the like room.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay. All right. Correct me if I'm.
And then we just need to find the line item for the
It's
conference itself.
Oh, I have that.
Okay.
Also, so I do the to transfer
Mhm.
and then the other one, or do we want to do the transfer?
Yeah, so the org itself, their number, their index number, and then the line item you're transferring from and to.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I have it. Okay. I moved to transfer funds within the group name add team OS number 005I from line item team bonding to line item AAF NSAC regional competition expenses in the amount of $952.
Motion made by Bailey, seconded by Questenberry. Motions on the floor. We have a few people on the list. If you don't want to speak to this motion, when the next motion gets called, you'll be first on the speakers list again because the motion resets. So Senator Stevenson.
Just on the note of cutting costs, there are 32 students and 1 faculty representative, right? But there are 10 4-person rooms.
Yes. We organize them, or they're separated by gender, so not every room has exactly 4. There's some that end up having 3, but they're at their max because there's less boys than girls, and so it's maxed out with how many people can be in each room. And they're only 4-person rooms, so.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Chisholm.
Thank you. Yeah, kind of same what Cole said, so this would help pay for the faculty to come as well.
It covers her room cost, and then that's the only cost because she has her own registration that she fills out through AF because she's a different type of member under NSAC, so it's just she's the 10th room.
Okay, also, wait, she's getting a room to herself?
Yes.
Okay, also, could you do the room breakdown for me again? So nobody in our team is like comfortable sharing rooms at all. It's like you said, it's by gender.
Well, everyone's sharing a room. I can pull up I have a doc with like everyone's names listed and who's in which room if you guys want to look at it. But yeah, it's separated. It is separated by gender. That's just how we've always done it. I feel like that would make the most sense for us. But yeah, everyone is sharing room, and there's 2 beds in each room. So most people have 4 people in each room, and there's a few just because of how there's not exactly. It can't be exactly divided by 4. There's a few rooms that some people have 3 people in a room, but.
Yeah, okay. Could you like break it down for me completely? I
I can pull up the doc with the names too, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
that
Because I
would
don't
be fine.
remember.
Yeah,
off the top of my head who
yeah.
visualized.
But yeah, we do have people like sharing beds, so we're like trying to get them cramped in there.
Or instead of saying the names, I guess I'm wondering like how many rooms have all 4 people, how many rooms have just 3 people, and how many rooms have 2 people. And then the faculty has 1, he says.
There's none with 2 because the only rooms offered to us by AAF, because that's the discounted, that's less than like what it would be if you just booked through the hotel normally. They all have, it's either 3 or 4 because there's no, like, we didn't want to give just 1 person, like, we didn't want to give 2 people get their own bed, and then, so it's either 3 or 4, but, do you want to just look at like this?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I can answer questions so
Yeah,
everybody can
okay.
hear. Thank you.
We have one with our boys. We have 10 boys, so we have 1 room with 4, another room with 4, and 1 room with 3. And then our girls, we have a lot more. So we have 1 room with 4, 1 room with 4, 3 rooms with 3, another room with 4. So we have 3 rooms with 3 for the girls, just so that we don't have someone having their own room the way that lines up. And then we also have our faculty advisor.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Senator Hofferday.
Yeah, thank you for coming. I think that I was a little concerned about the price of the buses. I feel like it might be cheaper to carpool if enough of y'all have cars, and then you could like divide that up amongst people and then get like reimbursed for gas. I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, why did you decide to do buses?
We did consider that, but it had been advised to me that it's easier to have money in your account before rather than do reimbursements after. And we did try to do reimbursements last year for some like Ubers. We planned to Uber to one thing instead of getting a bus one time. And it was just a whole like, it was kind of an issue because they got taken out of our account super late. So it's a whole travel issue thing that we dealt with. So that's why we were kind of just trying to have just one bus before. And also, I just think it's more reliable to have everyone in one contained space and make sure everyone's there at the same time. And there's no issues with like individual cars. And then having every person individually go back and try to get gas money and receipts, and just it seemed a lot simpler to just get a bus.
I also feel like it's pretty good for team morale to all kind of like get everyone hyped up on the way, because we all really want to be like tight and ready. It will be really nice for all of our presenters to be able to work together on the bus instead of being separated. So to practice.
Yeah. I definitely think that's fair. I think it's a lot of money just to go to Portland. $3,000 is like way more than it would cost to drive cars. So for that reason, I'm not super in support of it. But I think if you cut out the bus cost and price it out to be gas, then it's a super reasonable trip. So I yield. Thank you.
Senator Smith.
I was just gonna bring up the line item that they have in their ledger is not the same as what we said. And I'm assuming that's important.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up before we voted on anything. The line item actually has a $980 in it.
Well, it's also like a different name.
Oh, it's a different.
Yeah,
name.
I
see,
think
okay.
we did 952 because that's like the cost, like to
Mhm.
get it down to 8,000. I'm also personally, I'm not worried about the room thing because I mean we've already funded people who've like been like, hey, I'm not comfortable with like sharing rooms. So I think that's totally fair. Like what you guys have chosen to do, like that's your comfort, that's your choice. Yeah, I just was gonna bring up the line item.
Would you
so
want to make a motion to amend it? It's all good if not, if you don't have it already.
I can, but I'm just gonna let discussion happen and go back in so I can prep it. Unless someone else wants to, I yield.
Whose placard was that? Senator Bailey. Yeah. Senator Broussard.
I was just gonna echo. I don't care how your rooms are set up. I think it makes sense. It seems like you're maximizing that. Also, it makes sense for a faculty member to get their own room. I don't think students should have to sleep in the same room, at least definitely not the same bed as a faculty. So that's all. But thank you for showing us. I appreciate that. But for my side, it doesn't matter. I yield.
Senator O'Neill.
Yeah, I was just wondering if after whatever transfer was discussed earlier, if it would fit into the travel priorities. It does.
It does with the both transfers that have already happened.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, in that case, then I'm in favor of the trip. I do like how it's close. I do think the bus is expensive, but also I do like buses. I think they're a great form of transportation. So, yeah, I support this request. I think it's a great use of money for travel for how many people it is. So I call the question.
The question would be on the motion that we need to amend currently. Do you want to revoke your question?
I yield to Senator Bailey.
Okay, does anyone know what the line item is actually called?
Escape bonding activity.
Escape room bond activity? Bond, okay. Escape room bond activity. Bonding, sorry. Okay. Let me do this again. So wait, how do I amend it?
So you're just gonna move to make an amendment, and then we're gonna vote on the amendment, and
I
that'll be
move-
the new.
Do I have to say the amendment?
Yes.
Okay. I move to amend the motion
To
transfer funds within group add team OS number 005I from escape room bonding activity to AAF NSAC regional competition expenses in the amount of $952.
Motion made by Bailey, seconded by Perez. And then this is a motion to amend the current motion on the floor. So I'm going to take a vote. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. All right, we have a new motion on the floor, and that is for the new line item. Thank you. And then yield back to Senator O'Neill.
Second.
Question's been called on the motion to transfer. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. All right, we'll now vote on the motion to transfer funds. Perez, Peters, O'Neill, Smith, Broussard, Hofferday, Heffernan, Amodiafe, Jenkins Hiscox, Chisholm, Nagarajan, Stevenson, Purdue, Smith, Bailey,
Aye.
Morel, Madariaga, Fisher, Questenberry, Ludeman, and I say aye. All right, we've now transferred $950, correct, to the new line. 952. All right. So the new request is currently at $8,000. Then we'll continue on the list with Senator Fisher.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to say that I am in support of this, especially since you gave up even more of your to transfer more money, and so we can fit the priorities. I wanted to thank you for that. I will be voting yes on this. I also just wanted to add, for if anyone is like not fully convinced on the room situation, it is 4 to a room when possible. Ideally, it's less than 4 to a room. So like them having 4 to a room, having 3 to a room, having 2 or 3 to a room is kind of supposed to be like the default typical. So even putting 4 is not ideal for our liability purposes. And so I think that they're doing the very best they can, and I appreciate you guys for doing it. Thank you. I yield.
And then just to ask real quick, you're within the priorities and everything, but we've asked every other org this that has the faculty advisor. Do you guys feel like you need the faculty advisor to come with you? Yes. Okay. If that's something you truly feel like you need and you're within the priorities, I feel like it's okay. But okay. Senator Peters.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Senator Hoffertay's point about the sort of the cost of the bus, and then also about what y'all said about the gas reimbursement. That is exactly what SOFS is going to tell an org. The truth is it is really, we can't guarantee that reimbursements will happen. So there is sort of a have to be reimbursed. It has to happen within a month. A couple of boxes need to be checked in order for like gas reimbursement to happen. And so we can't guarantee that students will be paid back for gas reimbursement. So that's probably why they were advised to go with the bus, just because of how personal reimbursement works is not a guarantee. I yield.
Senator Questenberry.
I want to thank you also for being so flexible with us tonight. And since you're under our guidelines and you've already moved your money around, I'm going to make the motion. I move to authorize spending from surplus to Group Ad Team OS number 005I in the amount of $8,000 to line item AAF NSAC Regional Competition Expenses.
Motion made by Questenberry, seconded by Bailey. And we'll move forward with Senator Smith. Senator Bailey.
I yield.
All right, we will move to vote if there are no more questions. Starting with Perez, Peters, O'Neill, Smith, Broussard, Hoffertay, Heffernan, Amodiafe,
Aye.
Jenkins Hiscox, Chisholm, Nagarajan, Stevenson, Purdue, Smith, Bailey, Morel, Madariaga, Fisher,
Aye.
Questenberry, Ludeman, and I say aye as well. Congrats, guys. Thank you so much for coming tonight. And for our last surplus request, we have On the Rocks. Welcome.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here. So I am Mason Caltegno. I use he, him pronouns. And I'm here representing On the Rocks as one of the financial chairs. So our surplus request is to provide funds for lodging as well as transportation to go to an annual event called Hella Acapella, which is an acapella event which is hosted annually by the Spokes down in UC Davis, and we'll use these funds to transport all our members to Davis, as well as house them for the event. And so to kind of give you guys a breakdown, it should cost roughly about 1,500 for the for lodging. We try to find the cheapest option, which is the Ekno Hotel, which is just outside of Davis, because as you move into a large city like Davis, it gets vastly more expensive. So we tried to cut costs there. Additionally, we're going to be using UO's van pool in order to transport ourselves. So we have 2 members that are certified, just because the distance is over 300 miles. We have to have 2 certified members. So we have that. And so, yeah, in order to cut costs, we're using the van pool as well as cheaper lodging. And we plan on driving ourselves, which would make the trip a lot cheaper, and kind of give you like a community impact on the Rocks, as well as the other acapella groups on campus. We perform every Friday at 3 to I think about 5 o'clock at the EMU Amphitheater every Friday. And so we try to get community involvement, as well as for this event. We're trying to keep costs as low as possible. So we fundraised through doing birthday gigs. So people hire us to go sing happy birthday, as well as an additional song for around $50. And we normally put these towards generating money for our albums, which we have 9 studio albums to date. And so we put that money towards our trips as well as our albums. And in our bylaws, in our goals section, we list Davis as well as Berkeley, which is another annual event that we went to last fall, as events that we try to go to every year. So yeah, that's my spiel.
Great, thank you so much. I know we've already talked about this request, but I definitely think the price is awesome, and thanks for all the work you've done to plan it. And we will now start questioning, and I'll start with Senator Heffernan.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming. I just want to say I think that this is such an impressive proposal. I think that you guys have done more than enough, and I just want to go ahead and make the motion because I'm super happy with this request. So I move to authorize spending from surplus to group On the Rocks, OS number 116, in the amount of $2,500 to new line item name Hella Capella Showcase.
Motion made by Heffernan, seconded by Questenberry, and we'll move forward with discussion with Senator Madariaga.
Well, I was gonna make the motion, but that's okay. I also support this. I met with you guys and we talked about the costs and stuff, and it was always like super cheap and in the clear. So yeah, and I loved hearing like your story and everything about when we chatted about the club and everything. So yeah, I think what you guys are doing is great, and I yield.
Senator Fisher,
I was going to make the motion. I love this. I'm going to vote yes. I yield.
Senator Stevenson,
I also was going to make the motion. What is your guys' favorite song to sing other than Happy Birthday?
Ooh. Honestly, so we kind of do all genres. So we kind of do everything from, pop to country to like, rock. I would say my personal favorite to sing is probably Take It Easy by the Eagles. We have a great rendition of that. Also, shameless plug, we did just drop a single. It's Your Disco Needs You by Kylie Minogue. So if you guys want to check us out, we are on Spotify and every streaming platform. We also post weekly on our YouTube. If you guys miss our Friday shows, we try to post that so people can, see it and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I yield.
Senator Smith,
I guess I was never gonna make it to making the motion. I yield.
Senator Smith,
Yeah, I think that the rest of my colleagues would agree that we're not going to vote yes for this unless we can hear a chord. There's three of you. If you could just like hit like a major chord for us, I'd like that a lot.
Sadly, I think we only have 3 parts, but Jimmy, do you want to create a chord?
That's enough for a bass, middle, and high note. Come on. Harmonize for us for the monies.
I mean, I'm.
You don't have to. You guys.
It is mandatory.
It is mandatory.
You're all good.
Not mandatory. Yelton's not, or they all speak for.
I yield. Okay. All right. That concludes the speakers. That concludes the speakers list. So we'll move to vote now that we have a motion starting with Perez, Peters, O'Neill, Taylor, Smith, Broussard, Hofferday, Heffernan, Amo Diafe,
Aye.
Jenkins Hiscox, Chisholm, Nagarajan, Stevenson,
To get you guys to perform birthday or something.
Every Friday. 4 o'clock.
Purdue, Smith, Bailey, Burrell, Madariaga, Fisher,
Aye.
Questenberry, Ludeman, and I say aye as well. Congrats, guys.
Thank you.
I hope you all enjoy your trip. And moving into the next part of the agenda, we have confirmations confirming the ASUO Vice President. We have our nominee, Max Jensen. And if anyone from the exec branch want to do an introduction at all, or?
Okay.
Okay, hi Senate. Good to see you guys. My name's Daphne, she, her pronouns, chief of staff. I am doing this off the dome. So I've only had the opportunity to work with Max over the last couple months. We just met this year, but Max is just an invaluable addition to our team. If you aren't aware, Max has been working in the advocacy department with Amaya and the rest of the team as Secretary of Campus Advocacy. We're just in his first couple weeks. He's already contributed greatly to the Medication Abortion Coalition, and then something else that I think is really unique about Max and his addition to our team is his institutional knowledge. A lot of you know that we lost OSA, Oregon Student Association, a couple years ago, which has really hampered our ability to lobby powerfully and to be heard in a way that matters on the state and federal level. And Max has, just in the first literal 2 weeks of his time in our cabinet, launched efforts to restart OSA through literal coalition support and also funding support through working with CFC, which is really impressive. It's been amazing. Personally, my testimony for Max on our team is Max is a really good listener and has a really keen eye for seeing and knowing where to pull people or pull ideas or pull work that's already been done. Max does a really, really great job of being aware of the work that's going on campus. And I think that that just speaks to how well connected he is. And I think that as far as our decision to appoint him and recommend him for this position is the things I just said, how quick he is, his people power, his institutional knowledge, and just you've been really great to work with just in the last couple months. And I think that Max will be paramount in the exec being able to accomplish the rest of our goals for the year, including some pretty big student power campaign promises. But I won't speak too much about student power. I'm sure Max will have plenty to say and you'll have plenty of questions. But yeah, that's my intro. Thank you for your time. Yeah, please.
Yeah, really quickly, I did want to share that we had 4 applicants for the vice president role. Max Jensen was the only person within AS that's already been working within ASUO this year that did apply, and that was really important in our decision because we are halfway through the year, and we just want to make sure that somebody could just pick up the work that was left behind when Jordan resigned really quickly and has already been working with the cabinet. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And did you want to take a chance to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do here on campus?
Hi, my name is Max Jensen. I use he, him pronouns.
I've worked in a lot of different spaces on campus, the ROAR office, LGBTESS, the LGBTQA3, the Multicultural Center, and other spaces. And doing work with these spaces, like learned a lot about coalition building and collaboration, and trying to win, like, especially structural victories on campuses, and like about the student power movement, historically, as going back to like the Students for a Democratic Society and SNCC, and the civil rights movement. Student power and student organizing has been really central to like creating change for both like the general population and the most marginalized amongst us. And I really think that going forward, the work that you all do with the rest of student government can make a lot of really impressive changes. We just need to work together and try and get those structural shifts to take place. Anyway, I don't know really what else to say, but yeah, hope.
So that was great. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
will open it up to questions now. If anybody has any questions for Max. Senator Chisholm.
Nice seeing you here. I was wondering, what's a social issue that you're very interested in and most passionate about?
Well, right now, I think issues relating to ICE are really important to focus on. We have an institution that's not serving us in this area and others. It's been a sort of constant failure on the part of our public institutions to protect us from the sort of descent into pseudo-fascist kind of governance in the US. This is an issue that's been sort of like just simmering off campus for a good while. And I think that students would be able to work really well to help both protect people off campus and make sure that students are kept safe and feel safe on campus.
Word? Okay. And my next thing is become vice president. Like, what projects are you most like excited to work on that you think are feasible by the end of the year?
So the OSA project was brought up, and I think is really important to allowing us to make change. We just lost a policy in the legislature that would have gotten students a lot more power in our institution. That OSA would have been able to give us like leverage over legislators to sort of force them into a position of supporting things that we would want them to support. That project isn't necessarily rebuilding OSA all at once, but creating a position and a contract that would allow them to rebuild in the coming years. So it's been it's like a large project that we can sort of dissemble and turn into something that's like doable in the short term.
Cool. Thank you. I yield.
Senator Smith. This Smith.
Hey, what are some of the projects that were left unfinished by your predecessor? And could you please pick one and explain to me why you've got the skill set to do it?
I haven't actually met with my predecessor yet about like the projects that they were working on. I know that they were focused on like the diversity action plan and working around I believe like the I forget what the name is, but the construction committee. Thank you, SBCC, to look into like better ways to direct future construction on campus. I was originally an architecture major, and currently in, or like I'm like pre 3 p.m., which does a lot of like city planning. Anyways, and I know that there's groups that are looking to like put that money towards or that work towards a campus boiler upgrade that would make the university much less like emissions dense. which we're like the largest emitter of greenhouse gases in Eugene. So I mean, like that would be a big thing. Or also the Latine Cultural Center is another area that might be able to like go down. I've worked again in multicultural spaces and in these planning spaces. So uh, both of those areas are, I think, comfortable to me. The SPCC and the the Diversity Action Plan. I think I can hopefully bring more people in to those kinds of projects to make it more representative of like students on campus, especially students in multicultural spaces. But I do need to learn a lot more before I can really like, power forward in any one direction.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Senator Broussard.
Thanks. I just wanted to ask, I want to give you a chance to describe the events that transpired when you stepped away from the ASUO presidential race in 2024.
Well, that was one of the worst events of my life. Thank you. It again, like I feel like the student government, student organizing is one of the most powerful sort of drivers for change, both like on campus and like in this country. The events leading up to that, I had to drop out because I lost my temper around a complaint that was made with a really absurd sort of context. I don't want to get too much into that specifically, but the point is, in that scenario, like I needed to be able to stay calm and keep myself like kind of controlled and moving in a positive direction. And I just wasn't able to do that at the time. So like going forward from there, like learning from that, I've focused myself a lot more on, especially radical acceptance and like trying to find the best path forward instead of focusing on negatives that are in the present and past. So anyways, if you want to give more context around that or something that you were looking for, feel free.
Totally, yeah. No, I appreciate the answer, and I do like that your work did it, and obviously that sounds like a hard thing. I sent an article in the group chat earlier. Unfortunately, it describes some things that were just, I don't know, sounded a little more scary to me and than your characterization, but that also could have been the Daily Emerald taking a little bit of liberty. But the words were, I think it was, you had to be, like, people had to make a barricade, and so that just, like, to block you, I don't know, some of that just worried me, but I'm glad you spoke on that.
Okay. Well, I'm generally a very large, intimidating person, so I don't know. But what is that? I believe strongly in like prison abolition and like in human growth and the ability to change over time. And like if we're looking at me from just the perspective of like one of my lowest moments, then like that's not all I am. And I would hope that like this is an institution that is helping people to grow and move forward and become better. Then and I'd like to do that kind of work with other people as well. So
awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate that. I yield.
Senator Stevenson.
Thank you for that answer, Max. What has been your, not biggest takeaway, but what is a takeaway that you have across your time at the University of Oregon? And what is something that you think, as vice president, you can essentially change as part of that?
So I think one of the main things I've learned here, and I've been here for a while, this is my second degree, the sort of power interests of the institution do not generally align with the interests of the student body and the population as a whole. There's people who are very interested in sort of co-opting the sort of purpose of education in universities in Oregon, and they've been very successful at doing that. I don't think that like we can change those things overnight, but we can work to whittle away at that kind of power and redistribute it to the broadest population possible. So like, can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
It was essentially like, what is your biggest takeaway across your time at UO, and then as vice president, is there like a way that you can enact change on that?
Yeah. So I think like what we were talking about before with the Oregon Student Association is something that would allow us to push back against those sort of institutional forces and like extra institutional forces that have interests that are contrary to ours. So like I was a co-founder of the UO Student Workers Campaign back in like 2021. Anyways, that sorry, that project was designed to try and build more power for students at like the broadest possible base and meet like a major issue that was affecting students, which is the lack of autonomy that students had in the workplace. Like those kinds of changes, those structural changes that build us more power through like collaboration and I can't think of a better word than like unionizing, but like in other aspects of like our campus life will help us to have a strong front to push back on, again, those sort of wealthy interests that are reshaping and reformatting the purpose of education in Oregon.
Thank you so much, IU.
Senator O'Neill.
Actually, I'd like to yield, but I'd like to get on Stack for the private conversation section.
Senator Smith.
Here? Yeah. Yeah. I say fuck the Daily Emerald. However, where what it lacks in providing good information, it does raise a lot of questions. And so, like, if you're comfortable, and this is a big if, I'd like to hear you recount that in your own words, as someone who wasn't around at the time.
Oh, I can't do that without like casting aspersions on someone.
No is an acceptable answer.
Okay, I don't feel comfortable doing that. It's too I don't want to dredge up too much like interpersonal animosities and again a lot of it was messy. Yeah, no for now.
Basketball question.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah. I also want to like ask you about you talked about your outlook and how you're choosing to take a very future oriented position in this kind of thing. And I want to say to my colleagues that I think those are a lot more than just words. They've been nothing but kind to me in my time at the Roar and leftist spaces. And I want to ask how you plan on leaning into your strengths and soft skills in order to be effective as vice president.
Yeah, I think like one of the really important things is just like listening to people and seeing what people are interested in. I'm very much sort of against kind of a top-down kind of organizing structure. It's more about, for me anyways, pulling in people who are already interested in doing things and changing things and giving them access to power that they can use to do that themselves and supporting them through that process. So like that kind of collectivist, which is the word that I was looking for before, but wasn't there in my head. That kind of collectivist, kind of holistic and community-based organizing, I think is really important in all organizing spaces, but would also help make the administration of the student government something that people feel more comfortable bringing ideas to and participating in, both within and outside of the organization. So like making sure that we are really investing in people's ideas as they come up, you know, from like either the Senate or other parts of exec, or from like community organizations, student organizations. Anyway.
Thank you, Max.
For sure.
And that concludes the speakers list. Does anybody have any more questions?
Yeah, I do.
All right, you can ask another question.
To what degree is your experience as a non-traditional student a strength for this role?
Oh, I think a big one. A lot of our students come from like community colleges, especially. I came from Lane Community College and I was at another community college before that. And that I think uh, helps us to create solutions that are not like just for the prototypical student on campus. It's important that we remember that like the solutions that we do create have to be all encompassing of like all students and their experiences, and that takes work to remember what that looks like in practice. So yeah, that's all.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Senator Nagarajan.
Hey, I was just wondering, what's motivated you to be in school for so long, and what do you plan to do after all the education?
Well, right now I'm trying to get more education. I don't know. I have like ADHD and like long-term like depression and all kinds of things. And anyway, so it was all very slow moving for me. Like both in high school, I switched high schools a lot. I was like a queer kid, queer brown kid in a rather unpleasant small town. And all of those things kind of made that go a lot slower. But education, though, right now I'm trying to just get my grades up so I can go into a master's program. And then generally speaking, I really want to understand how the world works and like how systems of oppression operate, especially in this like political climate, so that I can do something about it. My hope is that like there will be spaces for like organizing that's paid, maybe union organizing or something like that after I graduate with a master's or a doctorate. But yeah.
What would you say has been the reason why you've been like so impactful in exec so far? As what, Bethany? Like, how would you say you've been really helpful? Like, what's made it so you've been able to create such a big impact?
I don't know how, like, people are doing a lot of really cool work. It's just I'm a new element and helping out where other people are already succeeding, and we're all improving each other and making everything work smoother and stronger, I think, together as a team. So I was really happy to work with like Chase and the other folks in Amaya and everyone in the advocacy department to get these kinds of. I've only really been working on like the Latina Cultural Center and the medication abortion access, which like there are great people in there who are doing great things, and I can help them do more great things. So that's the best answer I have. I don't know.
Senator Smith.
Hey, I've been very pleased by all the things you've had to say so far, but I'd like to invite you to brag about one of your skills to maybe convince one of my colleagues who might be on the fence.
Oh.
Please, be as vain as possible.
I'm bad at that.
Like, I'd like to see you show off.
Okay. Oh
yeah, flex the scenes.
I like to write and really get a strong foothold on like what things are. So over the last over the whole period of my education, I've been writing about how these systems affect students and affect people in like marginalized communities. Back when I was in community college, I was writing especially around like LGBT issues and like passing around my little leaflets and stuff. And that turned into I'm working on my second big zine right now. I helped with like the People's Guide work that Valentine was putting on with a group of people, and the other one that's been I think useful in like the Latinx Center coalition was the I'm forgetting the name. legislative or not administrative tactics for undermining student organizing. The things that I've seen administration do to really like try and pacify the student body. Like getting these things on paper and out to people. There's a student who just came today for a stack of like 15 of that particular zine to use over at Lane Community College. And it's been read in other parts of like the country and stuff through YDSA, but if like the knowledge we have needs to be shared. So I try to do that as best as I can, but I'm also very, very slow with some things. So yeah, but there should be a new zine called "Who Bought the University of Oregon?" That should be coming out in the next week or two as well.
Thank you
Anyways.
for that very effective brag.
Oh yes,
I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. And if that is all the questions, we'll move to our private deliberation. If you want to just step out in the hallway just real quick, we'll invite you right back in.
Maybe I don't know.
Do you want to learn?
I'm
Okay.
I'm have diabetes.
Okay.
Anyways, but thank you.
All right, get out of here. Go on, get.
Okay. Senator Hufferdam.
Sorry.
We're gonna start with O'Neill. Okay, O'Neill.
Oh, well, I had a question for Priscilla, but it's left. I was gonna ask specifically was
Daphne's here.
oh yeah, how exactly thing?
It was the required methodology in the Constitution for choosing a vice president. Is she coming in? Would you prefer to ask her?
Yeah, sorry if I missed it earlier, but because I came in a bit late, but what exactly, how did you guys choose what method you were going to use to get a new vice president?
That's a good question. So we talked, myself, Daphne initially, and tried to decide if we wanted to pull someone from the team or get somebody from just outside. And we decided that like an adoption would be the best idea, but also trying to identify people in the team that we think would make sense. So I did talk to Max about in applying. I did tell the exec team as well that application was open for anyone that wanted to apply, but of the applications we give away that.
Also, if I may, it is not in the Constitution that the vice president. It is not in the Constitution. To answer the second part of your question, there's nothing laid out about this process.
Okay. Do you guys feel, so this seems to me to be a similar strategy that was used, minus the wanting to include people that were originally here, but a similar strategy that was used to replace the other seats in the Senate. I was wondering if you guys are very happy with the strategy that you chose and you think that it's the fair strategy.
I think for this one specifically, we had to think about what would work best because the vice president is so integral to me being able to do my work, to Daphne being able to do her work, and also our chief or director of strategy, just like a really core part of the team. So as opposed to with filling Senate seats, I think it's just a different situation. I don't know, do what we could. It was a little bit of a longer process because the application was out for so long. But I'm confident in the process and in reviewing the other applications that Max is the person.
Okay. Nice. So I had a couple other things. I guess just to speak about Max, and the incident. As somebody that was around for the incident and somebody that had a formal and informal conversation with people who were directly present at the incident, who were the direct quote unquote targets of the incident, and ultimately was just there a lot and heard a lot about it. I do think that Max disappeared for a while after that, and I think that the incident should not affect people's decisions. I think that um, from my I me and Senator Chisholm were quite present at that time, and I would say at least that the incident was quite not necessarily inflated, but I do think that there are a lot of nuances that the Daily Emerald cannot possibly understand, but also that that because it is a couple years later, Max returned, I have just not seen anything that would be worrisome in relation to that sort of behavior at all. And also, I would say that the person in question, some of the things were definitely, it was just a lot more complicated than it seems, and I definitely would say that Max is not directly in the wrong. Some of the actions were wrong, but the knowledge of it, the entire process was not so clear cut as the Daily Emerald made it seem, or other publications, in my opinion. So that is what I have to say on the matter of the incident. I will not want to explain any of the details about it because I don't think it's relevant. If you all want to understand more about it, you can read either the Daily Emerald or the Insurgent accounts of it. I don't know if anybody else talked about it, but I just don't think that it is too relevant right now. As for saying why I think Max is a great choice, I think that Max is a fantastic choice. Max has always had great ideas, specifically really, I think very unique ideas on how to actively use ASUO for the benefit of the students and actual plans on how to do things. Since the beginning that I got into Senate, Max has always brought up these very fledged out ideas to me, which I honestly couldn't understand because I just don't, that's not my forte, and I don't particularly care about that. But I do think that Max has really great ideas in those aspects. He's doing stuff in Triple PM right now, and I think that that offers a very good lens for the stuff that we're doing here. He has a lot of ideas on how, as he was already saying, about structural things. Also, Max shows up to things. Max always shows up to rallies that I've been to, and and to meetings of all kinds, which I think is very important. He's very active in various spaces. I think it's huge that he's been in the LGBT, in the QA3, as well as the ROAR, as well as in the MCC, because those are all very critical locations on this campus. I thought that his deeds were great. I think that Max is the best option, regardless of who the other options are at this point, because he genuinely has so much to offer in this department. I genuinely think that he will get great things done. And I would strongly encourage people to approve Max for the position. Yeah, you'll.
Senator Haffordin?
Yeah, so the incident that Mayday is referring to is a little bit before my time as far as being involved in leftist spaces and knowing Max. But in the time that I've been around, which is, sort of short, that I have only seen positive interactions with Max and other in the ROAR almost every single day, and see lots of great interactions between Max and people. I think Max is respected and liked. And I do think that you are, the people who are closest to you are the people who judge you the most. And I think that, like, if we are going to look at who is judging Max the most, like, those are his friends, the people who are surrounding him in organized spaces. And all of those people, I would say, as May's mentioning, have forgiven Max and moved past this, which has happened several years ago at this point. And I think Max since then has really reformed his behavior and feels really guilty for what transpired. I think that, Max is a super smart and with it person, has great ideas, and really has a good understanding, like you mentioned, of the power imbalance at the university, and, what we can be doing as students to reclaim that. And a lot of, really great ideas and methods for how we can do that. So I definitely support him and will be voting yes, and encourage you all to do the same.
Senator Bailey?
Yeah, I transferred here last year, so I think that was 1 year before my time. And last year I was in the so much. I lived on campus. I would basically be in there until closing, like almost every night. And like have a lot of other things to do at that point in my life. And I sort of slowly throughout that past year saw Max like re-enter the space. Uh, and I also heard the way that people talk about him change. And I think he's had to do a lot to re-earn the respect of people in that space. I would say he's had to do more because of who he is as a brown hair man. And Max has always been someone that I felt like I could talk to in the space. I've there's been so many times where I've come in the roar and I'm like mad about something, whatever organizing sphere, and Max is there because he's usually there. And I'm just like I've talked about it and like I think through things a lot of the time by talking about them, or else it just like stays in my head and I can't think about it. And Max has always been someone that I've trusted to be able to like listen and like talk through things with me and like offer his perspective, which I really value as someone to community college. So in different circumstances, I was 16, my first term of community college as a spring. But I really connect with Max, and I'm really glad that he's been able to re-enter the space. It isn't easy when you've been outcast like he was and unostracized. And though like the leftist space on campus is leftist and should prioritize this kind of resources that Max was also talking about, we don't often do that, and we don't often like give people the opportunity to come back and return and be able to work toward the same goals that we all have, which is ultimately like a better world. But I think Max has done everything that he can to come back into this space like gracefully and also like in a way that he wants to, in a transformative way. And I'm really proud of him. I'm really glad he's back. And I really hope that everyone will vote to have him as our vice president. Or and maybe never has been bridged in that way. I feel like Max is the right person about, you're thinking about this. Well, there's somebody else that, and like trying to make connections, has made connections. Just linked up with that person from LCC, just like walked in. And Max probably talked with them a while. It's like, oh, I have these scenes, and you have these scenes. I have like one of them that pretty sure it's the same LCC, and I'm like, now their scenes are so like I don't know. Everything that Max was talking about was just talk. I really love to see that everybody stay.
I'll just share real quick too. Like I saw that opening student, like I saw, I read it, concerning stuff, but then at Max, I thought to come up with on Solar Say project and things like that. And I've really enjoyed my time working with Max. I feel like he's kind of a lot of really good ideas. He's always kind of like asking questions about like what our thinking done instead of just saying like, oh yeah, like I'll take your information. He's always asking like why is this for that and stuff. And I really enjoy those conversations. So I feel like it's just like that's always a good sign of someone who really cares and actually like wants to learn things that just like checking boxes and it's something that I've noticed in my life. Although you could.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Hi. I wanted to motivate for Max Jensen. Like, I'm also a transfer student. And I think that's really important to have more non-traditional students, like in ASUO. just because it offers like a different perspective. I wasn't here for the conflict that happened, but from my experience in Max Jensen, he's been like really helpful in my role as a co-director and as a senator in ASUO. Like he's always offering more information and help and guidance, which is really important. And I think that his experience within like different orgs and clubs and stuff has really formed like a well-rounded like understanding of of what students need. So I think that's also really important. But yeah, I yield.
Thank you, Senator Almo-Diapeg. Senator Perez.
Yeah, I had a question for Daphne or Priscilla. As far as the hiring process went, what made them stand out? Or like
Like the boilers, yeah. But he's been around for like a bit of that. Has written amazing work that which he just had a really important part of the team. I think that's the biggest piece is that he is already on the team and knows. Also creates power. Want to highlight that?
He wrote the book. He wrote the book on like most things that we know. He's like he's tied in all new people coming into role. He's like he is one of the friendliest faces in the board. Like for a bunch of freshmen that are like super awkward trying to get spaces. He's one of the kindest people. He will always talk to you. He's ask you how it is. Like I could not talk enough.
Next.
I mean, I would talk on it personally, even though I don't know quite a lot about it, but I'll just reference you, like I can send you the Daily Emerald article and also like I can tease you the Daily Emerald article. I think when you read, get some idea of what happened. Yeah, I don't think that it's really great to, I mean, just like long story short, it just had to do with asking for sponsorships and then the sponsorship then somebody pulled out of a sponsorship at the last minute also because they didn't have consensus in their org that there was supposed to be a sponsorship. Then people edited text but then didn't edit text and who even knows who edited text, a bunch of stuff like that. A lot of weird private conversations, a bunch of stuff that ultimately led up to him losing his temper. From what I know for sure, there was no physical contact. Yelling, and people were scared. There was no physical contact. Right? Yeah, there was no physical contact. So ultimately, I'll just send you the two articles, but that was essentially it. Also, the student org isn't even ASUO affiliated or anything, so that's kind of another reason why there was more complications with it. Like, they didn't actually decide as a part that they wanted to. Also because ASU affiliated orgs can't do sponsorships, but then they I don't know. They felt like they were pressured into it. Point is, I'll just send you the article.
Two elections are hard.
share that I think Max recognized really. That moment, nothing. The reason he dropped out wasn't because he dropped out because he knew that it was
Um, that so a lot of interpersonal space that is so complete. You know each other so well, respect covers each other, arguing with each other, agreeing with each other, fearing like with the encampment that like they were gonna get swept, they were gonna get arrested, they were gonna get brutalized. The stakes that's always happening in the world all the time. And that's a big issue with conflict in our space. And I'm always an advocate for attendance. Simple. To understand what it's like to be in that space, being in that space. And no, it's up to them to decide whether to report on it or not, and they did. And then the do Vex on campus, and no. So you can also ask. Oh wait.
I found that really. Yeah.
Unless that has to be
Okay.
To yield.
I yield.
Senator Stevenson.
Exactly something called roundtable. Every week or any person on our team can bring a topic. It's just like this. There's 30 of us in a room. They bring the topic and say their piece. And usually we bring topics that to make a thinking, and the next step, find out who the connections are in the room, who's working on where the collaboration points are. Max has been very active in those conversations, but not in a way that anyone feels those are pushed over, which I think is a huge testimony to his self-awareness. Max is obviously a lot older than a lot of the people you might see in this room or the exec room. We have quite a few freshmen on our team because they're very their first term, their first year on campus, who have come to me and said, it's so awesome to have Max on our team. He knows so much. Or Max always knows the history on this. Max always knows the person I should talk to. You're brand new to the student government environment, who someone like Max and don't feel intimidated or threatened by his experience, his presence. I think that speaks to what kind of person he is to work with. And then my personal experience working with him. He has he's really resourceful. We have systems in exec, whether they're tech systems or communication systems. And I always find that I don't draw my maps to do anything silly. And I also don't have to answer questions that he could find out from his own meeting, that he is very resourceful, which I think is a lot of the function of my job is flow, and Max gets on the flow quick, and he encourages people around him to also be resourceful. Really good. I have really positive personal one-on-one experience with him, and then just the effect he's had on our team and the way he makes our team feel, I think it makes me feel really comfortable to. I'm comfortable that if I leave Max with anyone else on the team, I'm gonna like, Max shut down my idea. It's quite the opposite. So.
Yeah, really good. I think in my job specifically, it's an interesting dynamic because I am the president and he knows a lot of the platforms that he gave to me. So it's an interesting dynamic, but I think the best testament to how he is on the team is 2 days. That is the vice president that has just other, and he's able to do that, but also have ideally that and take initiative and raise. I reached out to Maximo, the secretary, did my role.
Man who argues with a lot of people all the time. I hope that if I ever like had an outburst or acted out of my character, that tonight especially.
Senator Hughes.
Question's been asked and answered. You.
Senator Logan.
Can you choose one? You know, like,
especially with that too. There's been moments where maybe something on the administrative level, it's really easy for me knowing everything that's supposed to just give me a solution. But he is just deep with and he'll ask, like, do you want like some resources or information about that, or do you just want to talk about like scope? I think that's really awesome because sometimes it isn't just I want you to solve my problem, and it is I just want to talk about the thing, and he can do both. And it's what I.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I definitely believe in second chances, and I think the purpose of the question was not to trap Max in any way, but just give him a chance to respond. To that, I think he did well. He did like convince me. I think he spoke strongly. I think everybody or most people here. So it have it's been some experience.
We got 5 people on the list. Senator Chisholm. When we moved to this deliberation with Max, he did split us. In the future, if you do notice your skip, call a point of order out and tell us you feel like you've been skipped.
in terms of like, he has so much institutional knowledge, like I have no doubts about. This is like it's important to take your time with really big important. We see redemption and a lot of correct. So, us to trust and
Made by Chisholm, seconded by Stevenson. Motion is on the floor. Senator. Senator Carpenter, one of the Senator Smith. Not over. Okay. This is hard to say. No. I don't doubt. But I don't think that I can. Primary list be Senate, none of them just hopped on, but then it's. So.
I would say like some situation. Someone was like was not just because like not as serious but kind of similar, and now I regret the decision. I think it's because I've talked to that person outside, and it was very much something. It was definitely someone at the most. Anyone first is capable of doing something like that. And I think the fact that stuff has improved, and honestly, it's qualification that I feel like should be taken into consideration the most. Yes, this is not the best thing to have. It would be better if not this didn't happen ever. But just given how so the answer's pretty tough hitting, like tough hitting answers he answered. I was very much like on the other side. I was also back to the top. The mutual like it's always a level of respect. I was like, okay, it's not like just this is just a situation. So I think a lot of time has also passed since then. So how you?
there's more people on the speakers list right now. Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Nay.
And the motion passes. Motion has been called.
It's three of you guys, like, it's great.
Aye.
Nay, 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 what? What's
Aye.
Oh, aye.
Bro. Sure. Westonberry. Ludeman. It does pass. Motion has been called. So right now we have the motion to confirm Max Jensen as ASU Vice President on the floor. We will now. Oh, sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Aye.
Real quick.
Nothing crazy from PFC. Thank you guys for coming to Saturday. Wait, are we? Oh, PFC is going to meet next week to talk about how budget season went. You guys, I'll put it in the team chat if you want to come. Okay, that's it.
Senator Smith for CFC. Yeah, we've talked about that.
Okay. I feel like it's important. We got a message from Becky about $150,000 that last year's president took from Prudent Reserve that's going towards, it was meant to go towards like legal services when people got their visas revoked. It's not through ASUO legal services, but there's a different process where it goes to people. It has to do with immigration law, but specifically and only right now for if you get your visa revoked. And about $863 of it has been used out of that 150,000. So our committee's going to vote on whether or not we want to return that back to Prudent Reserve or keep it, or somehow we're talking with Becky to maybe expand what it can be used for beyond visas and that, and just broader immigration issues. But so we're gonna have our usual time Tuesday at 6:30 meeting. If anyone wants to come and voice their concerns or ask us to do certain things.
And then for those who aren't aware, prudent reserve is essentially the pot of money that we're required to fill if we ever allocate a budget that the projections are underneath and we allocate a budget we can't afford to actually fulfill, that comes out of prudent reserve. So it's like our rainy day fund essentially. And then Department's Finance Committee Chair, Senator Hofferday.
Yeah, we don't really have anything to report. We didn't meet this week because we took it off after Budget Bonanza and after all of the budget hearings. So we really appreciate you all confirming our budget and are super grateful for an awesome budget season. And we'll keep you updated. We are having a planning meeting soon with all of the finance chairs, I believe, to discuss what we're going to do next because we still have 4 months. So super excited for that. And I yield.
And moving into Senate exec updates, we'll start with Academic Chair Stevenson.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to start off by talking about the Grove Community Garden. I'm going to send a link to everyone. AC, it's not a required event. You can thank your lucky stars. But on Sundays, they do meetings from 2 to 4. And I'm going to yield some of my time to Senator Madariaga to go over what will be AC's required event.
Okay, I already mentioned at the beginning, because I forgot we did updates at the end, but yeah, basically it's gonna be the clothing drive. And then I believe I've talked about it here before, but just for context, it's specifically clothes going to the Hope and Safety Alliance, which is a shelter in Eugene, mostly for like victims of domestic abuse. So yeah, it's gonna be starting February 16th. Gonna run it for the week. I have a sign up sheet done. I'm just gonna send that out to all you guys. And if we get like a good amount of donations, then we can take those over. If not, we'll do another week. So kind of like up in there for how long it's gonna go. Just depends on how many donations we get. So yeah, thank you. I yield.
I am then going to yield to Senator Perdue.
Okay, hi guys. So I have 2 updates. The first one is for College of Design. So it came to my attention that a lot of architecture students spend a lot of money each time they take a studio class, and they're really wanting to get like a 15% discount at the Duck store when they purchase supplies for their studio. So I am currently like emailing people and have talked to a couple ASUO finance members as well to try to get that happening. So yeah, I'm just in the process of that. And then the second update is for the School of Music and Dance. So the project that I'm really passionate about is like injury prevention and awareness. And so I'm currently working on a survey, and I'm going to like make a QR code for people to fill that out like around the school, but then also I will be going or speaking during orchestra, and then like wind ensemble probably as my first, yeah, I guess targets to have people fill out that survey. So that'll help narrow down like I guess the project, if there should be like a guest specialist to come and give a workshop, or if we should take action to like try to get a PT here at the U of O, or like injury prevention awareness like courses, as well as like ergonomic playing. So yeah. Thank you, I yield.
Also, sorry, I was gonna say also, you guys did a great job with Budget Bonanza. Give yourselves a round. Give yourselves a round. Shout out to finance committees. But anyways, as not necessarily a thank you, but as like a team bonding activity, we talked about it in AC. We want to go ice skating. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, feel free to Teams on me about that. I'm going to talk about it in exec on Monday. And yeah, those are all of our updates. Feel free to join in on anything that interests you guys. We need volunteers. And yeah, last time we used exec, and I want to use you all too. Pause. Thank you very much. I yield.
And then Abby, for your project too, if you need help with outreach and things like that, you should definitely reach out to the ASU comms team and the exec department, because they can get you on like the Instagram and things like that to connect you. Of course. And then moving forward, Ombudsperson Heffernan.
Hi guys, I don't have anything new for you, but the majority of you have not completed your viewpoint neutrality training. Please complete it. I will not be checking it on my own after tomorrow unless you directly like Teams me and prompt me to check it. So do it if you want credit by tomorrow. Yes. is that a question for me? Yeah.
The answers were actually in the slideshow.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, I up. Yes, yes, they should be. I like updated the question about the presidents
Yeah.
because it was, the original one was Mike Pence. And the only other thing I added was I added one thing about our financial priorities because I felt like that was applicable to us. Other than that, I took them all directly from the original slideshow. So yeah. But like, I obviously took out the questions from the slideshow because I thought that would be repetitive and there wasn't an answer on them. But yeah, they should be. You can let me, if you want, anybody, just let me know if you have questions. I mean, I did the same training, but I'm happy to answer questions. Okay, that's it. I yield.
And Chuck Perez. And great budget bonanza. Nothing crazy from me. Rules committee Friday at 12:30. I'll send out a Zoom. That's all I yield.
Deputy Speaker Ludeman.
I was trying to collect my updates because I feel like I always forget, but I don't really know if I did a good job. I forgot about the photo retake with Jay today, so we're doing that next week now. Apparently, the group photos that we did, like in Allen Hall, were just bad. I think it was too many people in one room, so the lighting didn't work out. So we're gonna do it next week, like right before Senate. He said it'd be super quick, so I'm gonna assume like 10 to 15 minutes before, if everyone can be prepared, we can get that done super quick and easy. It won't be in Allen Hall too. It'll just be like here in the EMU. Yes, Heffernan.
Is it the same? I'm assuming the same, like, like color scheme.
Yeah, I honestly like I think wear what you guys want. I think if you want to dress up for the photos, like go for it. But if you're not feeling it, yeah, whatever you guys want to do, it's good with me. Be yourself.
Oh, and it's just like in the EMU amphitheater or like where?
Probably on the stairs.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be on the stairs. We can all line up. Yeah, Chisholm. They usually have events on Wednesdays, so I'm going to assume it's the ones out this way. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to get the big stairs. We did that last year, so I think that should work out. Yeah, if I have, I remember my other update. Everyone either teams in the main group chat or teams me your phone number so that we can make a Senate group chat where we can discuss non-specifically Senate things. This was a request made by actually an exec member so that we can reach everybody. So it just teams me your number, and if you don't, then maybe I'll reach out to you and make you do it. So I yield.
And then I don't have much for my update today. Congrats on getting through budget bonanza in the budget season, everyone. A lot of hard work. And what Senate will look like going forward, I'm really going to work to get our working groups in order and try to really like plug people into different projects, different things that are happening, kind of like talk with everyone and just kind of reset and get us into a point where we're engaging with campus and actually being seen by students and representing people. And so that is what is in store. Yeah. And then moving into the executive branch update, ASU Vice President Max Jensen.
Thank you. On? Okay. It's a little bit long, but anyways, Medication Abortion Action Fair, co-hosted with YDSA and ASUO, was, I think, very successful. We had 11 student groups tabling at the event. We got 50 survey responses in 2 hours and over 100 petition signatures. And the same day that we held the event, UHS had finally agreed to hold an in-person town hall after weeks of denying us. So the next steps for all of that will be working on a medication abortion town hall with the rest of the coalition. and possibly working with some senators to put together a resolution. The Secretary of Advocacy Events, Chase, is hosting a ASUO Know Your Rights Activism in Action workshop this Friday at 4:30 in the Lise Crutcher Lewis Room, which will be focusing on-campus organizing and activism and ICE response and safety, and will include presentations from Future Labs, Oregon Future Labs, and the GTFF, focusing on UO Code of Conduct as well. There'll be free pizza at this event, anyways. I've been sitting on on the Latinx Cultural Center and HSI coalition meetings where Media Secretary Isabella and I have been taking minutes. And the space seems to be reaching a state of cohesion, which is really nice. And so, the SWANA Secretary, Sophia, has been working on a letter of support for legislators to sign to try and pressure the university to be more responsive and supportive of the project. Sophia is also getting visa funding for a Gazan student this week. So that's very exciting. The Secretary of Accessibility, Luna, has been working on duck rides, or working with duck rides to purchase an accessible bus, which is being purchased right now. So good job, her. And then sadly, I mentioned this earlier, but the Student Government Autonomy Bill was dropped this past week by Representative Hudson after he received pressure from the university. Anyways, this Monday, the student government will be taking students up to the Capitol to lobby legislators on our remaining issues. Getting mandatory ICE notifications on K through 12 and college campuses to be sent out through text. A HEC study into the operations and structure of Oregon universities, and then a policy on open primaries in Oregon. And then one more thing. So for the rest of this term, I'll be working with Director of Advocacy Amaya and Priscilla on reviving the Oregon Student Association in collaboration with leaders from other campuses, so we can build the kind of leverage we need to be able to push our legislators to pass the kind of policies that we need passed. Some of you have already helped with the early stages of getting this project working, so thank you, and I yield.
Thank you so much from the exec branch, and congratulations. Lastly, we just have the approval of the minutes. Does someone want to do all of them in the same motion? Senator Fisher?
I move to approve the Senate minutes from October 22nd, December 3rd, January 7th, and January 21st.
Motion made by Fisher, seconded by Questenberry. Those in favor say
God.
aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. And the motion is confirmed.
I move to adjourn.
Second Peters.
Motion made by Fisher, seconded by Peters. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay, and we are adjourned.
Put your chairs all the way up for the people that clean up the room.
Anybody else help with like making that word thing like 7:20?
Yeah.
Oh, not that one.